Well, for much of the season, the National League West has looked like Padres, Dodgers, Diamondbacks, Giants, and then Rockies, and that's where we are right now. Padres maintaining a 2.5-game lead over the Dodgers in the National League West. Dodgers just have not been forcing the issue, and the Padres have been playing well. Here's a guy who's been better as of late. That's Ryan Castellani getting the start for the Rockies, who last time they were here at Coors Field, Rockies swept the Pittsburgh Pirates. Then brief set on the road in St. Louis at Busch Stadium, where the Cardinals took 2 of 3. Castellani's got an ERA a little bit over the 5 mark on the year. Tyler Naquin is the first batter he will face playing center field today, batting .262. He was part of a simulated trade with the Cleveland Indians, still is part of the Cleveland Ball Club in real life. Grounds one to third base. Arenado, nice play, 360 spin, gets his man. That is out number 1. Let's take a look at the rest of the Padres starting lineup now, your first place Padres. Greg Garcia's at short, Tommy Pham in left, Manny Machado at third, Eric Hosmer at first, Will Myers is in right, Francisco Mejia catching, and Brian Dozier at second base. And then Joey Lucchesi is going to be batting ninth, starting pitcher. Here's Greg Garcia now, .234 on the year, 1 home run, 13 runs batted in. Rockies saw a lot of the Padres early on, back in the month of April. I believe there was a stretch of about 3 series against the Padres in the span of a homestand and then an away series. There's a bunt foul. It's been a while now, about a month since we've seen San Diego, after seeing them so often to start the year. And we don't know exactly how long Purple Rose Sim will continue, as there seems to have been a decent amount of traction between Major League Baseball and the MLB Players Association in terms of working on a deal to resume the season. Still some hoops to jump through, and don't want to get too excited just yet, but there's probably more optimism than there has been all, I want to call it an off-season, but during this suspension of play. There's a ground ball hit towards second base. McMahon makes the play for out number 2. Rockies are facing Joey Lucchesi today, so a lot of righties in the lineup. And Lucchesi over his last 10 games is 4-0 with a 1.14 ERA. So they will certainly, Rockies offense will be trying to cool him off a little bit. Tommy Pham takes first pitch outside. Home plate umpire Earl Hendricks, Woody Keller at first, Ed Drummond at second, and Clyde Washington at third. Tommy Pham really looking good in a Padres uniform. Pitch outside 2-0. Pham got off to a bit of a slow start from the first couple series in which the Rockies saw him. Now he's hitting like the Padres expected the former Cardinal to do. He flies one into center. Going back on this one is Hampson in front of the track. He will put it away, and that'll retire the side. Rockies will get a chance to score first in the bottom of the first. It's going to be Story, Desmond, and Blackmon to face Lucchesi. Here is Joey Lucchesi, 7-2 in 15 starts, a 3.15 ERA, 94 in the third innings pitched, only 85 hits, good for a 121 whip, 88 strikeouts against 29 walks, and especially as of late, Lucchesi has been on fire. So Rockies offense will have a tough task today. Trevor Story, shortstop, leads things off, 247 on the year. Does have good power numbers, 16 home runs, 40 driven in, and also 8 stolen bases. Leading things off largely these days is Trevor Story. We saw David Dahl get a chance to lead off once again in one of the games in the St. Louis Cardinals series, but typically is Trevor Story. Dahl and Daniel Murphy both getting days off today against the lefty. So 42-34 on the year is the record for the Friars. That is good for first place in the National League West. And just a around 2 to 3 game lead over the Dodgers for first place has been happening really for a couple months now. Lucchesi over his head into his motion. The 1-0 is going to miss high, 2-0. Dodgers just haven't been able to get on extended winning streaks, and it's not that the Padres have been off the rails in terms of winning streaks or anything, but Dodgers haven't been able to catch up to them. And credit to the Padres, too, of course. There's a swing and a miss by Story.
2-1.
That's swung on and missed, and the count evens at 2. The first 2 pitches were out of the zone for Lucchesi. We shouldn't have gotten used to that. 2-2 pitch is just a bit outside, and the count goes full. Ian Desmond is waiting on deck. Desmond hasn't started a whole lot lately. Haven't seen a left-handed pitcher recently have the Rockies against the Pirates or Cardinals, and that was after some series with the Dodgers in which they threw nothing but lefties at us. There's a high fly ball to deep center field off the bat of Story, and that ball is gone. And just like that, a leadoff home run for Story, his 17th of the year, and the Rockies take a 1-0 lead off Joey Lucchesi and the Padres. Story hitting that one off the bat, 105.3 miles per hour for the exit velocity. That thing to straightaway center field. Maybe a little bit left of center. 7.36 degree second hang time. The launch angle 33.43 degrees, and a 455-foot distance for Trevor Story. What a way to get this one started. Here is Ian Desmond now. Really likes facing lefties, at least has throughout his career. Takes first pitch strike. Lately, Desmond, you see his .222 batting average, and yes, it is better against left-handed pitching, but he's also only hitting .224 against left-handed pitching, .220 against righties. So a bit of a prolonged slump for Ian Desmond right now. A 1 pitch is swung on and missed. He's quickly down 0-2.
2 strikes.
0-2 is swung on and chopped. It's going to be a nice play by Garcia if he can throw him out in time, and he cannot. Desmond will reach on an infield single, and the Rockies remain outless. No outs here in the bottom of the first after the Story home run. Now that dive by Machado and that throw by Garcia. Nice play to get to it, but was not able to throw out Desmond, who still runs fairly well, even though he's getting up there in years. Sorry, Desi. Have to call it what it is. Charlie Blackmon now takes first pitch low and away. Lefty on lefty matchup. Blackmon usually doesn't have a whole lot of trouble against lefties, though, and he's on a 9-game hitting streak. .299, 16 homers, 37 driven in. Solid on base percentage for the Rockies right fielder. 1-0 pitch is swung on and missed.
1-1.
Lucchesi has gotten to 2 strikes on the first 2 batters he faced, but both of them getting hit, Story and Desmond. There's a pitch low. It's going to make it a hitter's count now on Blackmon. And swung on and pulled foul. I have a feeling this might be some of the biggest trouble Lucchesi has run into over his last, 4 starts or so. 2-2 pitch to Blackmon is a check swing, and home plate umpire says Blackmon went too far, and that is out number 1. Nolan Arenado, the batter, he leads the National League now with 22 home runs. Hit one in the 8th inning of the final game in St. Louis on Wednesday. .327 is batting average, .403 is on base percentage, and a whopping 52 runs batted in. And we're just in the middle part of June. Nolan Arenado, Nolan being Nolan and then some right now. He's on quite a hot stretch. He takes first pitch, called a strike. Looked like it might have been below the knees. Arenado has grounded into 13 double plays on the season. There's a throw to first to drive back Desmond. That is towards the top of the National League for Arenado. Pitched low and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. Lucchesi getting some opportunities to pitch from the stretch early on. The 1-1 to Arenado is taken outside, and now it's a hitter's count. check swing, and that's called a strike either way, and the count evens at 2. Swung on and chopped up the middle into center field, a base hit. Arenado continues his hot stretch with another base hit. Extend that batting average even higher now. Rockies coming out swinging today. Ryan McMahon will be the batter. Lefty on lefty matchup. Definitely no problem for McMahon, who hits lefties better than righties. There's a swing and a foul the other way. Came in on McMahon there. 246 overall, 318 on base percentage. It's all about the slugging for Ryan McMahon, though. He's got 21 home runs and 47 runs batted in. He is tied for second in terms of home runs in the NL. He swings and misses. He's quickly down 0-2. Big 3-run home run in the final game against the Cardinals on Wednesday for Ryan McMahon. 0-2 pitch is outside.
No, that's out.
Lucchese's thrown 22 pitches already here with just an out in the first inning. 14 of those have been strikes. Looks towards second base. His 1-2 delivery to McMahon is taken outside. So we mentioned Lucchese, who is having hardly any trouble over his last 4 starts or so. His 2-2 is swung on and lined in the air towards center. It looks like that one will be playable, and it will be. There are 2 away. Let's take a look at the rest of the Rockies starting lineup. We've seen most of it already. After Story, Desmond, Blackmon, Arenado, McMahon. Batting 6th, the catcher Alianza Diaz really hits lefties well. Batting 7th in center field, Garrett Hampson. Batting 8th at first base, Josh Fuentes, and starting pitcher Ryan Castellani. Still looking for that first major league hit. He's batting 9th. 261 on the year for Alianza Diaz, is hitting 370 against Southpaws, though. First pitch from Lucchese is swung on and chopped back to the mound. Lucchese picks it up, fires to first, and that will retire the side. So Rockies will settle for a run thanks to a solo shot leading off the ball game for Trevor Story. And that is our score, 1-0 Rockies after an inning of play. Manny Machado, 4th place in the National League All-Star voting, simulated voting at third base right now. Nolan Arenado has opened quite a lead among third basemen in the NL. 294 in the year, 391 on base percentage for Manny Machado, 12 homers, 42 runs batted in. Not a terrible year by any means for Machado in 2019, but I think the Padres might want a little bit more from him, and he certainly delivered this year. First pitch from Castellani here in the second is taken low, ball 1. Castellani's 1-0 is swung on and skied in the air towards center. Going back on this one is Hampson. He's at the track. He's looking up, and that ball is gone. Solo home run for Manny Machado. Answering right back are the Padres. That's lucky number 13 on the year for Machado. This game is tied at 1. And that'll quiet the crowd at Coors Field early on. I don't think that one had quite the distance of Story's 455-foot blast, but it was just a little more to the right of where Story hit his, more towards direct center field for Machado. Eric Hosmer, 287 on the year, 11 homers, 31 driven in. He's really started to turn things on since we last saw him. He's 9th in the first base All-Star voting for the NL right now. Josh Bell, when I last look of the Pirates, was leading. Castellani up over his head into his motion. Very reminiscent of the motion of one Max Scherzer. He actually has thrown a little bit in the offseason with Castellani from time to time. The 0-1 is swung on and missed. Quickly down 0-2 is Hosmer. 0-2. Swung on and lined foul. Strike 3 called, got him on strikes. Not sure what Hosmer was looking for. Perhaps thought he would get a breaking pitch on the 0-2, but a fastball right in there. That's out number 1. Will Myers now, 213 on the year, slugging 399. A lot of his damage has come against the Rockies as per usual. 696 is OPS. It's really getting off to a very hot start to the season. We were looking at, after those first few series with the Rockies, Myers was looking like, hey, on an MVP trajectory. Then he played some teams that weren't the Rockies, and those numbers came crashing back down to earth. First pitch here is taken for a strike in the inside corner. Swung on and lined foul the other way. Quickly 0-2 on Will Myers. Low and away, ball 1.
That's the ball. 1-2 is the count.
Castellani kicks and deals. Swung on and lined towards right field. Blackmon over on this one. He'll get there to make the catch. 2 away. So we'll talk to you about the latest proposals from Major League Baseball and then a new counter-proposal from the MLBPA in the attempts to get the season going again. This is what was initially proposed on Wednesday evening by Major League Baseball. 60 games in 70 days with the season starting around July 19th or the 20th. Full prorated salary. And that has been the main sticking point of the players. Also expanded playoffs in 2020 and 21, but the union would have to agree to waive a potential grievance. And the MLBPA came back with a proposal on Thursday afternoon, and that was for a 70-game season from July 19 through September 30, $50 million in playoff bonuses, a 50-50 split of new postseason TV revenues in 2021, forgiveness of the salary advance for Tier 1 through 3 players, universal DH, and a mutual waiver of grievances. We'll talk a little bit more about this coming up in the bottom of the second. We're tied at 1 after the Manny Machado solo homer. Garrett Hampson, 845 OPS, 287 average, 3 homers, 9 driven in. He leads off the bottom of the second inning against Joey Lucchesi, who had to throw quite a few pitches there in the first. First pitch to Hampson is taken, called a ball. Not sure where that missed. Lucchesi not sure either. So I do believe from the new MLBPA proposal that MLB will very much like the waiving of grievances in there. I'm not sure we'll be able to get to... Again, it's a 60 game from the MLB and 70 game from MLBPA in terms of how many games to play. Maybe we'll come to an agreement on the 65 midpoint. We shall see. There's also a part of the MLBPA proposal that allows players to wear brand logos on their uniforms, and I was a bit skeptical, I guess, at first about why the Players Association would like to do that, but I guess it brings in more revenue, and, you know, NBA does it, so... Ken Rosenthal wrote on Twitter that the traditionalists will be upset by that. I guess that makes me a traditionalist. I never considered myself that before. 2-2 to Hampson is swung on and missed. He got him on strikes. Just a little bit about the whole advertising and corporatization, but, you know, I guess it's not going to deter me from watching the sport or anything like that. So the latest from Tony Clark, who's the Major League Baseball Players Association Executive Director, he released the following statement yesterday. He said, "We delivered to Major League Baseball today a counter-proposal based on a 70-game regular season, which, among a number of issues, includes expanded playoffs for both 2020 and 2021. So it figured to think that the league would like that, expanded playoffs, bring in a lot of money. And Clark writes, we believe this offer represents the basis for an agreement on resumption of play. So, I would certainly think that there is some sort of a framework to get things going here. Of course, we'll need about 3 weeks of spring training. Remember when July 4 was a good target? Not so much anymore for a start date, looking like July 18, 19, 20 in that range right now. 1-2 pitch coming to Josh Fuentes, and it's swung on and hit fair down the right field line. Over to cut it off is Myers, and that will hold Fuentes to a one-out single. Not trying to do too much. Fuentes hitting it the other way and gets it past the glove of Hosmer. That will give Ryan Castellani an opportunity to get a bunt down. The bunt is down, and it is going to stay fair. Hosmer will flip behind his back to the pitcher Lucchesi covering, and there are two away. Score that as sacrifice 3-1. Fuentes moves up to second base. Trevor Story homered to just a little bit left of straightaway center his first time up, slugging .517 on the year. Dinger encouraging the crowd to get excited and encourage Trevor Story to bring home the second or perhaps even third runs of the ball game for the Rockies. Tied at 1. Story again, that home run in the bottom of the first. Manny Machado answering back with a solo shot in the top of the second. 1-0 pitch is swung on and missed.
1-1.
1-1 from Lucchesi is just a bit outside. It's a hitter's count now. Lucchesi has not been ecstatic about some of the calls in this bottom of the second inning, and perhaps he does have a beef. Comes a 2-1, and that's swung on and grounded towards third. Machado throws to first, and that will retire the side. After 2 innings of play, we're still tied at 1. Ryan Castellani will go get back to work in the third against Dozier, Lucchesi, and Naquin. Brian Dozier leads off the top of the third, batting .221 on the year, 3 home runs, 26 runs batted in, so he has yet to really get things going in a Padres uniform. So some good news from Wednesday. The Rockies announced that they agreed to terms with Case Williams, their 4th-round draft selection. He's a graduate of Douglas Country High School in Castle Rock. Bit of a surprise choice was he. Renee Deckert had more information about this on purplerow.com. But, because he was relatively unknown on the national stage was Williams. Rockies had been scouting Williams from their own backyard, though, throughout his high school career. 6'2", 210 pounds, right-handed pitcher. He was the top-rated pitcher in Colorado by both Perfect Game and Prep Baseball Report. Over his high school career, went 14-2, 298 ERA, 94 innings, 134 strikeouts, and in 2019 had a record of 8-1 with a 181 ERA, 79 strikeouts. So Williams will join Pine Creek's Ryan Warner and Greeley Central Sean Chacon as the only Colorado high school players to be selected by the Rockies in the first 4 rounds of the first-year player draft. Pitch up and into Dozier.
2-2.
The 2-2 pitch is going to miss outside. So Ryan Warner was selected in the 3rd round in 2012 and Chacon in the 3rd round in 1996. But this is the highest case was that a Colorado high school player has been drafted since left-handed pitcher Brock Burke was selected in the 3rd round out of Evergreen High School by the Tampa Bay Rays in 2014. Dozier draws a walk to lead off the top of the 3rd. Of course, the Rockies' policy is not to disclose terms of the agreements in terms of finances, but Patrick Saunders of the Denver Post had reported that Williams signed for a $450,000 bonus. There's plenty of information to read on purplerow.com about Case Williams if you'd like to check that out. Bunt down by Lucchesi. Fuentes will tag the runner at first. And Lucchesi is out. That'll be a sacrifice, 3 unassisted. Daniel Murphy is not playing today. It's Josh Fuentes, first base. Case Williams, you want to go ahead and follow him on Twitter at @TheCaseWilliams. He issued a statement saying thank you to the Rockies. Called it a dream come true. Said he's grateful to be a part of such a great organization, proud to be a Rocky, and he promises he will give everything he has to bring a World Series championship to his state of Colorado. It's a fly ball towards left field. Desmond going back on this one. He's towards the corner in foul territory. He'll get there to make the catch. And they're 2 away. But Williams said he wanted to thank his parents and sister for all their love and support, and he wanted to thank Douglas County High School and Santa Clara University for giving him the opportunity to play and continue playing baseball. Well, 97.6 mile per hour route efficiency for Ian Desmond there, getting a top speed of a little over 18 miles per hour. Good to see for him. Pitch misses inside to Greg Garcia. That swung on and hit towards short. Story up at the ball, throws to first. And throw is in the dirt, but picked by Fuentes, and that'll retire the side. We go to the bottom of the third. Desmond, Blackmon, Arenado due up in a tie ball game, tied at 1. Let's take a look at the Rockies offense. Right now they are first in home runs in the NL, second in slugging percentage, last place in on-base percentage. We've been telling you kind of the same story for a while now. Rockies, when they hit for power, and that includes not just home runs but doubles and triples as well, they are certainly doing well offensively. Not so much in some other areas. It's like they need to get that 3-run home run, or at least enough solo shots and enough extra base hits to get wins. Quite frankly, the pitching has not been enough to give the Rockies wins, especially as of late. There's a pitch low to Ian Desmond. The 1-1 is swung on and missed. That's a pitch in the dirt.
1-2.
Pitch misses low, count evens at 2.
That's the ball. 2-2's the count.
Swung on and fouled back to the screen. We'll do it again. Case Williams, I'm looking through his Twitter. Looks like he liked some of Purple Rose tweets. That always puts him towards the top of the Perp rankings. Can't hurt. Payoff pitch to Desmond is swung on and lined towards right field. Right there to make the catch is Myers. That's out number 1. Charlie Blackmon will be the batter. Struck out his first time up. He's 0 for 1. 298 on the year for Blackmon. Lucchesi into his motion. His first pitch here is taken low and away.
That's down.
Casey kicks and fires. Swung on and pulled foul.
That's foul.
The 1-1 is going to miss. Low hitters count now on Charlie Blackmon. Some rain in the area earlier today. It's largely cleared out. We're left with just some overcast skies. This is expected for the rest of the evening. 2-1 pitch to Blackmon is swung on and missed. 50 pitches now for Lucchesi, with 1 out in the 3rd inning. And that swung on and chopped foul. We'll do it again. In the dirt, count goes full. Nolan Arenado waiting on deck. Look at that batting average, up to .330 now with another hit today. Payoff pitch to Blackmon is swung on and fouled away. We'll do it once more. Blackmon and the Rockies continuing to make Lucchesi work today. Pitch count is up there. Swung on and chopped up the middle, ranging over his Dozier. Long throw and not in time. Blackmon reaches with an infield single with 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd. 10-game hitting streak make it for Charlie Blackmon now. Runner on for Nolan Arenado again. Got that base hit up the middle his first time up. First pitch is just a bit inside with a breaking ball. Arenado's OBP at 405, OPS, on base percentage plus slugging percentage at 1050. 1-0 to Arenado is inside 2-0. Swung on and pulled foul. Low and away, 3 balls and a strike. Ryan McMahon waiting on deck. Lucchesi shakes, gets the sign he likes. His 3-1 is swung on and hit in the air towards left field. Going back on this one is Pham. That one's going to be off the wall. Blackmon will move up to the 3rd base. It's a double for Nolan Arenado. His 22nd double of the year, matches his 22 home runs. And a couple Rockies are in scoring position with 1 out for Ryan McMahon. Here is McMahon, the 60th pitch of the day coming from Lucchesi, and it's in there for a strike at the knees. Fly out, first time McMahon came up, so for 1. Swinging a foul out of play. Quickly 0-2 now on Rymack. One's going to be in the dirt. That will get away momentarily from Mejia, but did a good job of keeping that one in front of him. No runners will be able to advance. One-two is swung on and missed. He got him on strikes. That's out number 2. This inning, 24 pitches for Lucchesi. So he's had a couple innings of going to be 25 plus. Along with his first inning of work. He's certainly making Lucchesi work, but it's a tie ball game right now. We need to get some more runs. Alianza Diaz will be the batter. First pitch is taken, called a strike on the inside part of the inside corner. Diaz grounded out his first time up. He's 0 for 1. We mentioned coming in hitting .370 against lefties. That's over 100 points better than his overall batting average. The 0-1 from Lucchesi is swung on and fouled back. It's quickly 0-2 now on Diaz. The 0-2 is swung on and lined towards the gap in left center field. This ball is going to be gone. 3-run home run for Alianza Diaz. And the Rockies take a 4-1 lead. Third homer of the year for Diaz. And the catcher bringing home the sluggers Arenado and Blackmon. Diaz continues his hot hitting against southpaws. And this one was a line drive that just kept carrying, and wall scraper out there, but they all count, and that one's going to make it 4-1 Rockies, taking the lead over Joey Lucchesi. Garrett Hampson now, he lays down a bunt, and it's going to go foul. Almost assuredly would have beat that one out if he kept it fair. As the pitch count continues to climb for Lucchesi, the 0-1 to Hampson is swung on and pulled foul. Next pitch will be the 69th of the day here in the third inning for Lucchesi. Oh-2 is swung on and lines right to the center fielder Naquin. And that'll retire the side. Alianza Diaz, 3-run bomb. And after 3 innings, it's 4-1 Rockies. Ryan Castellani has now got a lead to work with. Here in the top of the fourth. First pitch to Tommy Pham is taken just a bit inside. 3-run home run for Alianza Diaz there in the top of the bottom of the third, I should say. It's giving the Rockies the lead. One 0 from Castellani is just a bit outside, 2-0. 96-mile-an-hour fastball is called a ball. It's swung on and fouled out of play. Let's talk about the Rockies' third-round draft pick now. Named Sam Weatherly. Thomas Harding of MLB.com had a good article about him. He's a left-handed starter from Clemson. Posted an .079 ERA in 4 starts during the abbreviated college season. Pham grounds one to second base. McMahon throws to first for out number 1. Weatherly said he failed an abnormal amount in his first 2 years at Clemson. This is his words. He said even in high school, he was good, but he wasn't the star or anything like this. He wasn't miserable, but at times it was really hard to fail a lot and not see any results. But he said it's keeping your head down and working hard. It took 2.5 years for him to find his groove. He's glad that he failed. He's glad that it all happened, and he wouldn't trade it for anything because he's where he's at now. 21 years old is Weatherly. Doesn't mind discussing his freshman college season, which was a bit of a rough one. He was the 2017 Michigan Mr. Baseball Award winner from Howell High School. Went to Clemson as a two-way player. Had 14 appearances as a pitcher and a .664 ERA. Went 1 for 10 as a batter in 2018. And he then took command of his career with a phone call to Monte Lee, head coach for the Tigers. And he said he wasn't fantastic on the mound. He wasn't smashing balls at the plate. What he wanted to do was make a significant impact on the team. He wanted to help Clemson win in one capacity. Evidently wasn't working as a two-way player, so he figured out how best to use his 6'4" frame and strong arm by focusing on pitching. So when you look at the scouting report, he's got a fastball in the low to mid-90s, can touch 96 with a swing and miss pitch. Speaking of swings and misses, Machado's out there. Best pitch for Weatherly is a low 80 slider that is really tough, not against both righties and lefties. He figured that out after he experimented around with a cutter, but he said he ended up moving down the horseshoe, which means the shape of the seams, and throwing it in the bullpen, and that was a pitch they could work with. Sophomore year, Weatherly pitched in relief, trimmed his ERA nearly in half, went down to 3.37, got 46 strikeouts in 29 1/3 innings. And last summer in the Cape Cod League, had a 4.32 ERA, 18 strikeouts, and 12 walks, so command issues in 16 2/3 innings. But it wasn't necessarily the numbers they were looking at to see improvement. It was how he developed his approach. He said he really honed in on a routine, Things that helped him were reflection and journaling. They made physical adjustments, yes, but where he needed the strides most, he says, was between the ears. And that confidence carried Weatherly through the spring at Clemson. He says he feels like he's one of the hardest working guys in the class, really got after it. He said that's what gave him confidence. He doesn't just feel strong physically, but mentally. As he got better on the field, he started to gain even more confidence, he said. This is what Rockies Vice President of Scouting Bill Schmidt said. He said Weatherly was a kid they scouted out of high school and followed him down to Clemson, and the growth as a person that he made in the last year helped him. He got off to a good start, and with that came confidence. Put together a pretty good 4-week run. We'll talk more about this in the bottom of the fourth. It's 4-1 Rockies. Rockies manager Bud Black and pitching coach Steve Foster talking things over. Have to be generally pleased with what they've gotten so far from Ryan Castellani today. He's got a 4-1 lead to work with. Luis Perdomo is now up in the bullpen for the Padres, as the Rockies have a 4-1 lead. Lucchesi out for a fourth inning of work, at least to start the inning. He's been giving up some hard contact. A couple home runs against him today. A solo shot by Trevor Story to lead off the ballgame, then that 3-run home run in the bottom of the third by Alianza Diaz. And he's at 70 pitches here as we start the fourth inning. Josh Fuentes got a base hit his first time up, and he is leading things off. The 0-1 is in there for a called strike quickly. 0-2 now. There's Perdomo. Just to wrap things up on the story we were telling you about Sam Weatherly, who was the Rockies' third-round draft pick. So he's been given a little bit of a comparison to Rockies righty John Gray in that his slider is an opposite-handed version of it. There's a ground ball to short. Garcia makes the play for out number one. Harding writes that it's thrown with fastball attitude and arm speed. The goal for Weatherly is to develop command similar to what Kyle Freeland has shown when he's at his best. And the next step is to incorporate his changeup, which he didn't need much against overmatched collegiate hitters, and potentially a fourth pitch. As you go up through the ranks, especially into the big leagues, as Ryan Castellani picks up his first big league hit, he's going to have a single. Get that baseball. First major league hit for Ryan Castellani. A couple starting pitchers in recent days picked that up. Evan Grills, a couple of his starts ago, he picked up his first big league hit. So Chichi Gonzalez on the last homestand got his first major league home run. And Castellani is aboard now for Trevor Story, who's got a home run on his ledger today. First pitch here is taken for a strike at the knees. So yeah, as you continue to go up through the ranks, you're not going to be able to succeed with one, maybe two pitches. So Bartolo Colon kind of did with his one pitch. Weatherly said to be an effective starter, especially at these levels, you've got to be able to mix pitches and show guys different things. Going forward, it's going to be a big emphasis for him. So he's already thinking forward. That's always good to see. Story swings and misses, and he is a strikeout victim. That's the second out here in the bottom of the fourth.
The left fielder, number 20,
Desmond swings and fouls one out of play. Taken down and in ball one. I think we have time to get in this quick story. Patrick Saunders of the Denver Post had a mailbag. Actually, we'll pick this up in the sixth. There's more questions here than I realized. He had someone wrote in at the Denver Post to ask about Kyle Parker out of Clemson, because that's where Weatherly was from. I haven't heard a whole lot about Kyle Parker lately. He was drafted pretty high up by the Rockies. Sorry, Zach Veen. No. Yes. Clemson, who was out of... It was Weatherly. I thought we just talked about Weatherly being out of Clemson, didn't we?
That's a foul.
Yes. Anyway, we'll talk about some of Patrick Saunders' answers on that and other questions coming up in the sixth. Ian Desmond strikes out, and that'll retire the side. After 4 innings, it's 4-1 Rockies. Will Myers flied out to Charlie Blackmon his first time up. That was in the second inning, so he's 0 for 1. Ryan Castellani out for a 5th inning of work. First pitch is swung on and skied towards the left. Desmond right there. He will squeeze it for out number 1. Only 51 pitches now. A much better spot to be in than what we saw from Joey Lucchesi. Scores around baseball. We'll check interleague action in Chicago. Red Sox lead the Cubs 9-4. Beat the Cubs 9-4. It's a final. Chris Sale getting his 5th win. I guess he's still playing in simulated baseball. Kyle Ryan gets a loss. J.D. Martinez at 2 home runs. Had 6 RBI. Wilson Contreras homered for the Cubs. In the 8th inning, Braves and Nationals are tied at 6 in an NL East matchup. Adam Duvall has hit his 6th home run of the season for Atlanta. And Adam Eaton has hit his 6th home run for Washington Nationals. 8th inning, Blue Jays are taking it to the Pirates 13-0. Bo Bichette has hit his 13th home run of the year, has 4 runs batted in. In the 8th inning, Giants lead the Marlins 3-1. Jesus Aguilar with his 10th home run of the year has the lone RBI for Miami. 8th inning, Phillies lead the Mets 5-2, another NL East matchup. Rhys Hoskins has hit his 9th home run of the season. Pete Alonso has hit his 17th for the Metropolitans. 5th inning, Reds lead the Cardinals 5-0. Tucker Barnhart with home run number 4 on the year for Cincinnati. See on the ticker going by, Nolan Arenado right now is leading the National League in runs scored with 51. There's a ground ball hit to short. Story shifted that way, makes the play for out number 2. Padres don't really have one main offensive piece that's doing all the work. It's really been a collective effort. In the AL, Rays lead the Orioles 5-2 in the 8th. Brandon Lau has hit his 5th home run for the Rays, and Austin Hayes homering for the 6th time for the O's. 8th inning, Cleveland leads the White Sox 5-4. Tim Anderson has hit 2 home runs, his 15th and 16th, and I believe that's Chris Shaw, who has home run number 4. 5th inning, Twins lead the Yankees 5-2. It's not the postseason, so that means the Twins can still beat the Yankees. Rooker has hit his 4th home run for the Twins. Sorry to any Twins fans watching. A's lead the Astros 7-4 in the 5th. George Springer has homered for the 17th time this year. Mark Canha, homer number 14 for the A's. 1-0 Angels over the Rangers just underway. They're in the 2nd inning.
3 balls, no strikes.
Guy named Mike Trout has already hit his 23rd home run of the year. 1-0 Seattle has taken an early lead over Kansas City. They're in the 2nd inning. Let's look at all the scores around baseball after this juncture. Joey Lucchesi's day is done. Josh Naylor is going to pinch hit. He's been really good as a pinch hitter. 346 average, 8 home runs. One of those home runs this year has come against the Rockies. I definitely recall that. First pitch from Castellani is swung on and grounded to short. Story, long throw, and got him. And that'll retire the side. We head to the bottom of the 5th. It's 4-1 Rockies. Luis Perdomo will be the new pitcher for the Padres. 43rd game of the year, 46 in the 3rd innings pitched, 34 strikeouts, 14 walks. Righties are hitting .276. Charlie Blackmon 1 for 2 singled and scored. So, considering how hot Joey Lucchesi was coming into this ball game, again 4-0 with a 1.14 ERA in his last 10 games, only to make it through 4 innings, allowing 4 runs in line for the loss today. It's quite surprising. Blackmon has good numbers against Perdomo in his career, batting well over the 300 mark with a couple home runs. There's a swing and a line drive down the left field line foul. The 1-1 is swung on and chopped weakly over the mounds. Shortstop Garcia over will make the play. That's out number 1. Look at Joey Lucchese's final line today. 4 innings, 4 runs on 8 hits. Did not walk a batter, struck out 5 through 81 pitches. Rockies just had a couple of big hits. The solo home run by Trevor Story to lead off the ballgame, then the big 3-run home run for Alianza Diaz in the bottom of the 3rd. But either way, Rockies really brought up that pitch count. 81 pitches by the end of 4 innings for Joey Lucchese. Nolan Arenado, only 5 for 22 in his career against Perdomo. Of course, you can I guess you can't count the 6th hit because Perdomo was running away too fast before Arenado could land a punch on him in that brawl from a couple seasons ago. Off-balance throw here by Dozier gets Arenado. So he's 2 for 3 on the day now, 2 away.
The batter number 24, second baseman,
Ryan McMahon, the batter, he's 0 for 2, strikeout and a flyout. You can see 244, 316, 561 is triple slash. First 2, not a whole lot of impressive numbers there, but definitely hitting for a lot of power this year is Ryan McMahon. He is 4 for 7, not a huge sample, but definitely does have some experience against Luis Perdomo. 1-0 pitch is check swing and a strike on the outside corner, 1-1. That's taken inside, and it's a hitter's count now on Ryan McMahon. Swung on and ripped into right field, a base hit. 2-out single for Ryan McMahon. We'll keep the line moving now. Alianza Diaz, big 3-run home run, his last time up. Continues to absolutely mash left-handed pitching. And Dinger is getting the crowd excited, wants the Rockies to score even more. Dinger getting greedy, but who can blame him? Righty on righty matchup now, and first pitch is taken for a strike.
0-1.
Swing and a miss, quickly 0-2 on the Rockies catcher.
2 strikes.
Swung on and shot foul. Diaz just getting a piece. This has been Kuchnerkavich along with you for Purple Rose Sim. We want to let you know that we are not affiliated with Major League Baseball, MLB The Show 20, or the Colorado Rockies. 0-2 pitch to Diaz is swung on, a broken bat, and it's going to go foul, I thought. No, it's going to stay fair. And Hosmer is going to get the out by tagging Diaz. So, through 5 innings, it's 4-1 Rockies. That bat did not die, hero. Tyler Naquin leads off the 6th. He's 0 for 2, flyout and a ground out on his day. First pitch from Castellani is on the outside corner. That one's going to miss outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. So far been a very solid outing for Ryan Castellani. Ever since that first outing of his career, he's been more or less solid. Definitely been keeping his team in the ball game. Continues to shave some runs off that ERA that was pretty astronomical after that first big league start. There's a swing and a line drive towards right center field, and that ball is going to get down and go to the wall. Blackmon picks it up, fires it back in. That's going to be a double for Tyler Naquin, his 13th double of the season. That's how things start in the top of the 6th, and Greg Garcia will be the batter. First pitch misses outside, ball one. Next pitch will be the 69th of the day for Castellani. Garcia's put the ball on the ground twice today, both times 4 outs. .1-0 delivery is going to miss low. Garcia not doing all that well with runners in scoring position on the year. I believe it's probably a small sample, but under the Mendoza line with Risp. 2-0 pitch is taken inside. 3-0 now. Inauspicious start to this inning, this 6th inning for Castellani. Allows the leadoff double. Now it's 3-0 on Garcia. The pitch is in there for a called strike. Tommy Pham is waiting on deck. That's on the outside corner, and the count goes full. Coming set is Castellani. Looks towards second base. Payoff pitch is swung on and looped into shallow center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Naquin will move up to third base, and there are runners on the corners with nobody out now for the Padres, and they're going to bring the potential tying run to the plate with the heart of the order due up. Here is Tommy Pham. Rockies and Castellani has handled him today. 0 for 2 fly out and a ground out slash on the year. 296, 363, 498 for the left fielder. Not sure if he'll make the All-Star team this year. There's quite a few outfielders who may be ahead of him, but those are solid numbers for sure for the Padres left fielder. First pitch here is taken high, ball one. .1-0 is swung on and missed.
1-1.
And that one's just a bit high, hitters count. So this is from the mailbag that at the Denver Post from Patrick Saunders. Paul from Fort Collins asked him, after this draft, I can't help but think back to a few years ago when we, meaning the Rockies, drafted Kyle Parker out of Clemson. Whatever happened to him? He seems like he was well on his way to making it to the big leagues. There's a base hit into right field. Naquin will score, make it a 4-2 ball game. RBI single for Tommy Pham. And Steve Foster is going to go out to the mound to have a word with his pitcher, Ryan Castellani. Still nobody out here in the top of the 6th. So yeah, Zach Veen, who was drafted this year, was only the 3rd outfielder ever selected by the Rockies with their first draft pick. One of those was David Dahl in 2012. The other was Kyle Parker in 2010. Now, Parker was the first athlete in NCAA Division I history with 20 home runs and 20 touchdown passes in the same school year. And throughout his minor league career, he was good. Then in 132 big league at-bats, had a .513 OPS. 64 games with the Rockies from 2014 to 15, only hit .182, struck out 39% of the time. Signed with the Reds in April 2016, then was released less than 2 months later, spent 2016 season in AA, but then decided to call it quits. Manny Machado fouls one out of play. He had a big home run his first time up. He's the possible go-ahead run at the plate right now. Keith Bader of Los Angeles wrote in, Patrick, we've had some very strong starting pitchers as there's a line drive, base it into center field. We'll see if they wave home the runner Garcia, and they will not. Bases are loaded with nobody out now for the Padres. That one, you can see Castellani had to duck out of the way, nearly took his cap off. And bases loaded, nobody out is the situation. Pitches a strike in there to Eric Hosmer. Struck out twice today. So Keith Bader of Los Angeles writes in to Patrick Saunders. Very strong starting pitchers have tailed off at the end of their run in Colorado. Ubaldo Jimenez was a beast. Jason Jennings had signs of being a legitimate staple in the rotation. Even Mike Hampton opened up his career going 9-2 with a sub-3 ERA in Colorado before he crashed and burned. So he asks Patrick, is it diminishing skills, overwhelming mental exertion, pitching at high altitude, or a little of both? 0-2 to Hosmer, is swung on and ripped towards the gap in right center field. This ball is going to get down and go to the wall. This will, I think, tie up the game at least, and it will. RBI double for Eric Hosmer, and this game is tied at 4, his 12th double of the year. And runners on second and third with nobody out still for the Padres as Castellani has started to run into trouble. And Bud Black, just like that, is going to have to make a pitching change. It was looking like a very solid outing for Castellani coming into this 6th inning. Then things they've unraveled a bit. It'll be up to the Rockies bullpen. In fact, it'll be a battle of the bullpens for both sides the rest of the way. And it will be up to Jeff Hoffman, the first man in from the pen, 34th game of the year, 59 innings, 41 strikeouts, 20 walks. You can see his .534 ERA has given up quite a handful of hits. 281 against righties, 282 against lefties. He's coming into a precarious situation. Runners on second and third, nobody out. In a tie ball game, Antonio Senzatella and Carlos Estevez are both up in the Rockies bullpen. First pitch from Hoffman to Will Myers is swung on and lined towards right field. Right there to make the catch is Blackmon. We'll make it a 5-4 ball game on the RBI sac fly for Will Myers. As Machado crosses the plate. Tim Collins now up in the bullpen as Antonio Senzatella has sat down. Carlos Estevez still up, a big first out at least. That'll be a run charge to Castellani. First pitch is a strike in there to Francisco Mejia, the catcher who has certainly done well against Rockies this year. So let's get to Patrick Saunders' answer about what's going on with the pitchers. He said, well, it's a combination of many things. She's not sure if it's so much diminishing skill as it is the physical wear and tear of pitching in Denver. Again, this is just Patrick Saunders' theory. He said that the mental exertion is a big part of it and something that not a lot of fans understand. As for Ubaldo Jimenez, who was trying to make a comeback with the Rockies before the coronavirus struck, a lot of the problems with the Rockies during his final season with them in 2011 are due to his funky mechanics. As Saunders writes, Ubaldo has a lot going on with his windup and delivery, and those problems followed him after he was traded to Cleveland and later signed with Baltimore. 2-1 pitch coming to Mejia is swung on and missed.
2-2.
That swung on and ripped towards right center field. On the run for this one is Blackmon. He will get there. That should get another run home, though, as Hosmer crosses the plate. Another RBI sac fly, and it's now 6-4 Padres. They have pushed across 5 runs here in the 6th inning. They're 2 away now. Solid job by Hoffman, though. He just allowed sac flies to get the 2 runners aboard home. Otherwise, he has at least gotten the first 2 outs. Brian Dozier has walked twice in this game, and he has not been hitting a whole lot this year, much at all, so he's not a guy you want to keep walking. That one is called a strike. We'll take it. Dozier 1 for 9 in his career against Jeff Hoffman. Swing and a miss. Quickly 0-2 now on Dozier. Former Twin. Brief time with the Dodgers, then last year with the Nationals. Now with the Friars. Be advantageous for Hoffman to end this inning here. 0-2 pitch is outside.
1-2.
Well, starter Lucchesi was knocked out of this game early by the Rockies. Joey Lucchesi only making it through 4 innings with 81 pitches. 1-2 here is going to miss low and in the dirt. 2-2 pitch. That one is low and the count goes full. Pitcher's spot is waiting on deck. If it makes it to Luis Perdomo, I think we will see a pinch hitter. I've certainly been wrong in that assumption of a pinch hitter for the pitcher several times already this season. Payoff pitch to Dozier is swung on and lifted in the air towards right. Blackmon on the run for this one. Looks like he's got a beat on it, and he will make the catch. and that will retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 6th. The Rockies now have to climb out of a deficit. They trail at 6-4. It'll be Hampson, Fuentes, and the pitcher spot due up. Garrett Hampson leads off here in the bottom of the 6th. Jose Castillo and Andres Munoz warming up in the Padres bullpen. Hampson 0 for 2. Luis Perdomo out for a second inning of work. His first pitch to Hampson is swung on and popped up. Shallow left field towards the line, and still in fair territory, Pham makes the catch for out number 1. One pitch, one out for Perdomo here in the bottom of the 6th. Padres scoring 5 runs and taking a 2-run advantage over the Rockies there in the top half of this inning. Here's Josh Fuentes. He's 1 for 2, got a base hit in the second. Perdomo into his motion windup, and his first pitch is just a bit outside, ball 1. There's Castillo, the lefty, and Munoz, the righty, warming up in the Padre bullpen. That swung on and lifted in the air towards left field. Pham's got it in range. Fuentes looks like he just got under that one a bit, and there are 2 away. We'll see if we have Hoffman or a pinch hitter. I think we might see a pinch hitter, given that it's only a 6-4 ball game. And David Dahl is going to pinch hit. See, hitting .248 on the year, 8 homers, 29 driven in, a .304 on base percentage for him. And he will face a right-handed pitcher. That is at least what has been better results yielded for Dahl this year against righties. So a bit of a disappointing campaign so far for David Dahl. 0-1 pitch from Perdomo is going to bounce up there. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's at the knees, 1-2 the count. This looks like it might be a pretty quick inning for Perdomo. Is 1-2 to Dahl, is swung on and pulled foul towards the seats. Well, smooth sailing for Castellani through much of this one, then things just unraveled there in the top half of this inning. Dahl fouls another one away. 1-2 pitch is strike 3 called. Got him on strikes, and that'll retire the side. We're through 6. Padres have a 6-4 lead in this one. You may remember a few years ago when spring training 2020 happened, and Purple Row was able to talk to John Gray, and he mentioned specifically this guy on the mound, how Tim Collins. And Gray was looking forward to what Collins had to bring to the table. Right now it's an ERA of 3 in simulated action. Robbie Grossman's going to lead things off, a pinch hitter here in the 7th. First pitch from Collins is inside, ball 1. Collins has certainly been impressive. Grossman hitting .240 with 2 home runs, 7 driven in, a .356 on base percentage. That one's high and tight, 2-0. That swung on and hit in the air towards fairly deep left field. Desmond's going back. He's at the track looking up, and that ball's gone. 3rd home run of the year for Robbie Grossman. A pinch hit homer makes it 7-4 Padres. Friars have really started to figure things out offensively after being silent for the better half of the first 5 innings of this ball game. Was just a Manny Machado solo home run. Now 6 runs scored between the 6th and 7th innings. Tyler Naquin takes first pitch low. That's going to miss outside, 2-0. James Pazos, the lefty, is joining Carlos Estevez, the righty, in the Rockies bullpen. Well, there's a reason the Padres are leading the National League West right now. There's a line drive pulled foul. 2-1 the count on Naquin. Clutch pitching, clutch hitting. And the 2-1 is swung on and skied again towards fairly deep left field. Looks like Desmond's got a better read on this one. He'll make the catch. That's out number 1. And we get to look at this lovely graphic again. Rockies have the highest ERA as a team in the National League at 5.08. I believe that has gone up today. Brewers, Mets, Cardinals, Marlins, Cubs, and then the Padres are on the list, so it's not necessarily the pitching that is the major strength of San Diego. Greg Garcia 1 for 3 singled and scored today. For example, the Dodgers are much higher on that list of better ERAs. And that's why the Rockies have been battling for the worst record in the National League much of this year. There's a swing and a high fly ball towards fairly deep right field. Blackmon's going back on this one. He's at the track, and that one's off the top of the wall. That will be a double for Greg Garcia. And Tommy Pham will get to bat once more with a runner in scoring position. Check swing and going too far, and that one is Pham. It's 0-1. Pham 1 for 3, single RBI runs scored. He's hitting .299, 42 runs scored overall, and 10 stolen bases on his 2020 campaign. That swung on and missed. Quickly 0-2 now on Pham, who's batting .307 with runners in scoring position this year. Swung on and popped up. It's going to be the starting the relief pitcher. Collins will make the catch, 2 away.
The third baseman, number 13, Manny Machado.
Here's Manny Machado as we look at his home run from earlier in this ball game. At the time, tied the game at 1. Rockies then answered back with a 3-run home run from Alianza Diaz. Padres answered back with 6 runs. They have a 7-4 lead. Over at Sports Illustrated, Tracy Ringlesby has an article as we see an intentional walk to Machado, ordered by Bud Black. The 4-pitch, no-pitch intentional walk. He'll hold up the 4 fingers, even though there's no pitches. But a walk, I guess. Anyway. Bill Schmidt, might have recall that name because he's the son of Matt Schmidt is the son of Bill Schmidt, the Rockies scouting director. And Matt signed with the Kansas City Royals. He was a 50-year senior at Michigan. He signed as an undrafted free agent on Wednesday evening. Eric Hosmer takes the pitch inside. Schmidt was the starting first baseman for Michigan this year when the coronavirus led to the season ending after 12 games in the Wolverine season. In the second game of the season, Matt Schmidt delivered what Michigan termed its biggest hit of the season. It was a 9th-inning home run that gave the Wolverines a 4-3 win over defending national champion Vanderbilt. That was in a Valentine's Day game at Salt River Fields in Scottsdale. Vanderbilt won the title at the College World Series last summer, rallied to win the final 2 games of a best-of-3 championship round against Michigan. And the son of Bill Schmidt, Matt Schmidt, is 6'2", 210 pounds out of Regis High School. Just had 38 at-bats in 2018 and 2019 combined. Career 183 hitter with 4 doubles, 9 RBIs, and a .348 on-base percentage. Time for the 7th-inning stretch. Andres Munoz making his this is his first appearance this year. Had 22 games last year, 23 innings, 30 strikeouts, 11 walks, a .391 ERA, something to build off of for sure. And just one more fun fact Tracy Ringlesby provided for us at Sports Illustrated about Bill Schmidt's son, Matt Schmidt, who signed as an undrafted free agent with the Royals. His closest friend on the U of M team was Jack Blomgren, drafted by the Rockies in the 5th round of last week's draft. Pitch inside to Trevor Story. That's swung on and lined on a hop. Third baseman picks it. Machado throws to first, and that's out number 1. Well, Rockies need base runners. So we take a look at the show track from Machado there. Covered 28 feet, 80 miles per hour on the throw. Good arm strength for the Padres third baseman. Now, there was a time when there was a question about whether Manny Machado or Nolan Arenado was the best third baseman in baseball. I think we've settled that debate now. At least we've settled that Arenado is probably a better defender than Machado. Matt Chapman may be giving Arenado a run for his money. Ian Desmond swings and misses.
You're bald, one strike.
But I don't think Chapman has quite gotten to the level of Arenado in terms of the length of how often Arenado has won those Gold Gloves and been a multi-platinum glove award winner as well. Certainly doesn't mean that he couldn't get there, though. Desmond swings and fouls one the other way. That was a 102 mile per hour fastball from Munoz, who really brings the heat, evidently. Making his first appearance of this season. 0-2 to Desmond is swung on and popped up foul territory, and that one's out of play. Munoz, a fairly quick worker. His 0-2 pitch to Desmond is swung on and foul back again at 102 with the velocity. Lighting up that radar gun is Munoz. And here comes an 0-2. That's inside, ball 1.
That's inside.
Another fastball at 102. It's an easy 102 for Munoz. 1-2 pitch is going to miss low and away. Again, 102 miles per hour. The velocity from Munoz. 2-2 pitch is inside, and the count goes full. Charlie Blackmon waiting on deck. Desmond certainly hanging in there with Munoz in this at bat. And the payoff pitch is swung on and missed. He got him on strikes. So from 102 to 89, and Desmond's not able to catch up with that one. Charlie Blackmon will be the batter with 2 outs. Munoz might be a guy who can stick around, I would think, in a Padres bullpen with this kind of stuff. Blackmon takes first pitch strike on the outside corner, 102. It's frequently 102 with the velocity. Blackmon singled and scored today. He's 1 for 3. The 0-1 pitch is way high at 102. Munoz's 1-1 offering is swung on and fouled off. Late on that one was Blackmon, just catching up to that 102 mile per hour fastball. One-two pitch, swung on and lined right into the glove of the first baseman Hosmer, and that will retire the side. Let's go to the 8th. It's 7-4 Padres. Myers, Mejia, Dozier due up. Carlos Estevez will pitch the 8th, 43rd game of the year, 39 1/3 innings, 52 strikeouts, 10 walks. That is good. ERA of 5.26. Righties are hitting .333 against him. And here's Will Myers, who's been suspiciously quiet today. Does have a sac fly RBI. Usually has a couple more extra base hits by this time in the ball game when he's facing the Rockies. First pitch swing and a miss. Estevez has handled him 1 for 9. One of the few Rockies pitchers who can make that claim. The 0-1 pitch is swung on and missed. Quickly 0-2 on Myers. 8th inning means we can check some more scores around baseball. We'll get to those in just a moment. 0-2 is swung on and missed to get him on strike, so takes 3 pitches to get Myers for Estevez. Today's starter comparison, Ryan Castellani was looking like he was going to have a much better day. 5 innings, only 5 innings for him. 6 runs, 6 hits, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Lucchesi, 4 innings, 5 strikeouts, no walks to give up 4 runs, and had 82 pitches. So, scores around baseball. Braves beat the Nationals 7-6. That is now a final. Pirates were able to score a run against the Blue Jays, but they lost 13-1. Hyunjin Ryu gets his 7th win as a member of the Blue Jays. It's Mitch Keller getting the loss for Pittsburgh. He struggled against the Rockies when he pitched against them at Coors Field earlier as well. This last series at home. Final, Giants beat the Marlins 3-1. Kevin Gausman picks up his 5th win. And Jose Urena gets the loss, so he's now 7-6. Gausman went 7 innings, allowed 1 run, struck out 7 on 5 hits. There's another strikeout, 2 Ks for Estevez. Phillies beat the Mets 6-2. Zach Eflin gets his 4th win of the year. Loss goes to Michael Wacha, who's now 1-4. Rockies haven't seen the Mets yet. I don't think we haven't seen the Nationals either. Certainly seen the Phillies, Marlins. Not the Braves either, so certainly some teams to go through there in the NL East. Well, 7 pitches, 7 strikes for Estevez. That one's going to miss down and in. I didn't say immaculate inning, but I jinxed it anyway. 1-1 pitch is just a bit outside. Hitters count now on Brian Dozier. Swung on and chopped foul. Rays beat the Orioles 5-2. Ryan Yarbrough gets the win for the Rays. Pitch low and the count goes full. White Sox beat Cleveland 6-5. That's a final. Aaron Bummer gets the win, 3-1 his record. Brad Hand, the loss for Cleveland, is now 0-1. Check swing, and Estevez strikes out the side. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Rockies need some base runners. They have Arenado, McMahon, and Diaz due up. They trail it 7-4. Nolan Arenado leads off the bottom of the 8th. A's have taken a 12-4 lead over the Astros in their ball game. Angels lead the Rangers 3-2 there in the 5th. Shin-Soo Choo has homered for Texas. Mike Trout has hit 2 home runs now, 23 and 24 for LA. First pitch is strike to Arenado. Munoz back for a 2nd inning of work, and why not? He looked about as unhittable as you can get there in the bottom of the 7th. Frequently touching 102 miles per hour with his fastball. 0-1 pitch to Arenado is swung on and fouled off. Another one at 102, and it's quickly 0-2 on the Rockies' 3rd baseman. Jace Tingler, Padres manager, first-year manager, certainly riding the hot hand. Another 102-mile-per-hour fastball is going to miss. The 1-2 is inside. Count evens at 2. 96. Is that his changeup, I wonder? 2-2 pitch is swung on and fouled the other way. That one at 97. I don't know. I guess he's got something where he can throw 102 and then take a little off and throw 96, 97. 2-2 pitch is swung on and pulled foul. Good job by Arenado to hang with that breaking ball, that slider. Certainly quite the differential from 80s to the 102 mile per hour mark. There's a swing and a foul out of play. Arenado is able to hang with another 102 mile per hour fastball. And outside, the count goes full. Ryan McMahon waiting on deck. This has been a very good plate appearance for Nolan Arenado to lead things off here in the bottom of the 8th against a pitcher who's really had it going today, at least through his inning of work. This is his first appearance of the year, Andres Munoz. There's a swing and a high fly ball towards center field. On the run for this one is Naquin. He will make the catch running onto the track. That is one away now. And Ryan McMahon will be the batter. McMahon 1 for 3, base hit in the 5th inning. Pitch misses outside, ball 1.
1 ball, no strike.
That is again outside, 2-0. Another 102 mile per hour fastball from Andres Munoz. .20 from Munoz is taken inside, 3-0. Alianza Diaz waiting on deck. And swinging a foul out of play. McMahon thought he might have gotten something to hit there on the 3-0. Want to be careful when you're swinging on a count like that. Here comes a 3-1. And swing and a miss. Might have been ball 4 there. But hard to time up that 102 mile per hour fastball to decide if you're going to swing or not. There's a swing and a miss at 102, and McMahon strikes out there, 2 away. McMahon was ahead 3-0 in the count, but then 3 triple-digit fastballs get him. Alianza Diaz will be the batter. But we're going to have a pitching change. Jace Tingler out to make that change. It'll be a double switch, in fact. Kirby Yates will come in. Looks like he might be trying to get a 4-out save. But look at that. His ERA has jumped up to 4.94. A couple blown saves for him. Austin Hedges is going to catch. A 4.94 ERA. The strikeout numbers are absolutely there still for Yates, but definitely not what we're accustomed to seeing. A 4.94 ERA for him. First pitch to Diaz is taken outside, ball 1.
That's the ball.
Couple blown saves on the year for Yates. Certainly handled the Rockies very easily in the couple appearances he's had against them this year. .10 is in there for a called strike. Dropping the velocity down a bit, 94 miles per hour from Yates compared to the 102 we frequently saw from Munoz, who I guess had some sort of a changeup or maybe a 2-seam fastball is probably what we'll call it. His 4-seam frequently, I think it hit 102 every time, then the 2-seam in the 96, 97 range. 1-1 pitch to Diaz is up and in. And it's a hitter's count on him. That swung on and lifted in the air towards right. Myers is camping under it. He'll make the catch, and that'll retire the side. We're through 8. 7-4 Padres.
Your attention, please.
James Pazos will pitch the ninth. He's been better as of late. You can see he's got some real reverse split action going on. Lefties are hitting .327, righties .232 against the left-hander. His ERA at .402 on the year. Austin Hedges will get his first plate appearance of the ballgame. He came in on a double switch. Wade Davis is up in the bullpen in case Pazos runs into trouble here in the top of the ninth. Hedges has solid numbers on the year. Francisco Mejia just certainly been hitting very well himself. He's been getting the bulk of the catching duties for the Friars. Talk to you about another article. This one from Drew Kreisman of the DNVR had a scathing article, not burying the lead at all, said in the first line of the article, the commissioner of Major League Baseball, Rob Manfred, should resign unless he can pull off some miracle solution that creates an amicable end to the current bitter negotiations and brings about a season that most involved can be happy with. His short time as steward of the game must come to an end. Kreisman asks the question, proposes, what has the commissioner done to grow the game during his 5 years on the job?
1-0.
Emphasizing pace of play is what he is known for. His accomplishments in this regard include limiting mound visits per game and a newly implemented 3-batter minimum rule that, well, we've seen that in our simulation here, but we haven't seen it take effect in real baseball games. It's really debatable whether or not either of those will have the intended effect of shortening games to apparently that us younger fans have been told that younger fans want to see shortened ball games. I'll take their word for it. You know, they know younger fans better than us younger fans. There's a line drive foul the other way. Manfred has also managed to implement clocks throughout the minors, and probably the best cases for his tenure thus far that he has finally begun to move forward on the electronic strike zone issue, likely moving towards universal DH. That's certainly been a part of the Players Association's plans as Pazos gets a strikeout. But even those decisions are controversial by nature and may alienate as many people as they win over, Kreisman writes. And where it gets really bad is in realizing that all of these measures aimed at giving less baseball have been focused on in lieu of far more pressing concerns. Kreisman says what Manfred could have been doing is softening the ground for a smoother negotiation for the upcoming collective bargaining agreement and done a better job stamping out any hints of collusion over the last several years to that end. He could have been making sure the league was in a position in order to better financially handle natural disasters, including hurricanes or a global pandemic. These things can never be fully anticipated, but a multi-billion-dollar industry needs to be better prepared when they do, Kreisman writes. Manfred could have focused on research and development of the electronic strike zone, as I'm not sure that one missed, years ago, so that technology would be ready to go by now instead of still in need of retooling. And he could have, or even said anything about the massive blackout problem MLB has, where most fans can't buy a package to see their home team's games on TV. And he could have made any headway towards streaming or freeing up video to third-party sources, allowing MLB to be made fun in the hands of creatives. Ground ball to third base. Arnado goes the short way. That'll retire the side. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Rockies need 3 runs to tie. And I will finish up that story from Drew Kreisman as well. 7-4 Padres have the lead. Garrett Hampson leads off the bottom of the ninth. He's 0 for 3, flyout in the 6th inning. So Kreisman says, we talked about all those things that Manfred could have done, but instead he has reinforced lazy stereotypes about baseball and millennials by constantly telling us it is a long and boring game that needs to be fixed with more scoring and action, but somehow less time for a generation with short attention spans and all their twittering. I would also argue there seems to be, this is me injecting my opinion here, they do want more scoring, I guess, but they're also not. I don't know. It's weird when you see the different influx of broadcasters, color analysts around the game who are not pleased with the high scoring and the amount of home runs, but yet That's what they want to be turning to, but yet they're going to have baseball analysts that don't want that. It's a bit of a conundrum here. Kriesman says that Manfred could have focused on any number of areas of umpire reform, including making sure that the best umpires are behind the dish for the most important games. Oftentimes some of the worst are, and making sure that there is a fair and transparent process when umpires overstep their bounds. Litany of scandals, Kriesman writes, have been plaguing Manfred's tenure. The Houston Astros had to skip the first couple rounds of the draft last week. I forgot about that, by the way, because they were found guilty of the organization-wide sign-stealing scheme. That's not the only scandal to come out of Houston. That's also not the only organization that's had a sign-stealing scandal. Red Sox and, of course, the Yankees have some papers under wraps in terms of what they may have done. The Astros also had to let go of an assistant GM because of sexist remarks towards a woman in the clubhouse who is a very well-recognized journalist. That stemmed from them bringing on board known domestic abuser Roberto Osuna. And as Kriesman writes, it might feel like that is most out of the commissioner's hands until you see the obvious pattern of sexism and excuse for abusers like Aroldis Chapman, Jose Reyes, and many others. There's also the video room scandals of the Red Sox and Yankees. Now reports surfacing that Manfred may have known far more about all these scandals before they became public and might have tried to bury them. Of course, the baseball has been juiced reportedly in 2019. There was an umpire who threatened to take an AR-15 into the streets if a political thing happened that he didn't like. It's Rob Drake. There's minor league contraction. Getting the draft down from 40 rounds to just 5 to give minor leagues pretty much no other choice but to have a contraction. Daniel Murphy's pinch hitting. So that article, the DNVR, I don't know if this one has been taken out from behind the paywall or not. It's definitely a good enough article to be. You can read all about that at the DNVR.com. Articles there are usually behind that paywall. Daniel Murphy takes the pitch low and away. Rockies are down to their final out.
1-1.
Kirby Yates trying to get the 4-out save. It's the first 2 outs on strikeouts. Now the Rockies are down to their final strike, 1 and 2. And swinging a ground ball, weakly hit towards first base. Hosmer takes it himself, and that is your ball game. Padres will win the first game of this series 7-4. So, next time we'll see you on Purple Rose Sim will be Monday, June 22nd, when the Kansas City Royals come to Coors Field for some interleague action. That could be fun. That could be a fun opportunity for the Rockies to beat some less successful teams. 6:45 p.m. Mountain Time, 7:45 p.m. Central Time, and 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time on June 22. So, Padres 7 runs on 8 hits, no errors. Rockies 4 runs on 9 hits, no errors. Luis Perdomo gets the win, going 2-1 on the year now. And Ryan Castellani the loss, 1-3. Kirby Yates picks up another save. He's among the league leaders in that category. Perdomo with the win after Joey Lucchesi only made it through 4 innings today. Perdomo goes 2 innings, 1 hit, 1 strikeout. Ryan Castellani 5 innings. The first 5 of this ball game were very solid for him. Just allowed a solo home run to Manny Machado. But then things started to unravel in the 6th when he was not able to get a single out. He's charged for 6 runs. He had 6 hits allowed, 4 strikeouts, and 2 walks. Jeff Hoffman came in after him and gave up a couple sac flies. Kirby Yates, an inning and a third, picks up 2 strikeouts in his perfect inning of work. Manny Machado is getting player of the game honors. He goes 2 for 3 with a home run and 2 runs scored. Robbie Grossman had a pinch hit home run. Greg Garcia 2 for 4 with a double and a run scored. Eric Hosmer 1 for 4 with a double, 2 RBIs, and a run scored. highlights on offense for the Rockies. They out-hit the Padres today, but of course the run column is the one that matters. Alianza Diaz 1 for 4 with a 3-run home run. Trevor Story went 1 for 4. He led off the ball game with a home run, and really Joey Lucchesi, again, we mentioned in his past 10 games had a 4-0 record and a 1.14 ERA heading into this one. So Rockies really were able to knock him out of this game early with him allowing 4 runs on 81 pitches through 4 innings. Nolan Arenado went 2 for 4 with a double and runs scored, and Charlie Blackmon also 1 for 4 with a run scored. So thank you for tuning in to this one. We will see you next week when the Royals come to Coors Field. And hopefully we'll have some news for you on baseball really returning.